What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. I think this would be episode 101. I'm your co-host, Godly Sovereign, and of course, today I have with me Sir Knight. What's good, my man? How you doing?
Good, man. Extra good. Today was my last day of work before summer break, so I'm
Okay, so
ready,
you get to chill for like a cool month or so, right?
2 months. I have 2 months
2 months.
off,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. That's
So,
gonna be nice, man. So what's on your
yeah.
agenda for playing?
Dude, I was thinking about that. I was trying to think about that, and I was like, some games are summer games and some games are not summer games.
Yeah.
Like, where's my Persona 5, man? Persona 5 is like a perfect summer game.
Yeah, the
Where
perfect
you could
summer
just
game to
like
put you back into school. Yeah.
you just like sink, yeah, I know. But like you just sink into it for like hours and days and weeks on end.
Right.
You're just
Yeah,
in
it's one
it,
of those where
you
you can
know?
just dedicate like a good chunk of time to it, to finishing it, and
Yeah, like Rogue Legacy isn't that. And so my mom was like, "What is that? Like, what game is that?" And so I was like, "Maybe Days Gone, but that's probably not really what I'm looking for."
Oh, you
So
still
I was
haven't
like,
played Days Gone yet?
"Sorry, not Days Gone." Um, what's the one
Horizon?
that came out? Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2.
Oh, Dying Light
Yeah,
2.
like I haven't played Dying Light 2 yet. And so
Right.
I was like, maybe that, might
It could
be
be a
what I
good
try to
one.
dive in. That might be a decent summer game. So
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out, man.
Is
Like I
that
was
one on
trying to
sale yet? It's
I
been
don't
out for like
know.
a
I
cool
don't
minute.
know. Yeah, I
So
don't
it
know if that
might be
was
on
on
sale
sale
by
yet.
now. I don't know. Okay.
But
So what else was you contemplating?
so I was kind of playing that. I definitely don't think Tiny Tina's is really like what I'm looking for. I was actually thinking about maybe starting from fresh Red Dead Redemption 2. Starting
Really?
that from
The
scratch
whole thing over
because
again?
starting the whole thing over again.
That's a long story, dude. And it's a lot of shit in
Uh,
that world to just like find again.
I know, like I wasn't sure if I wanted to start from my old save or start a whole new save.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it only because I was watching Last Stand Media, Colin Moriarty's podcast, PlayStation
Uh-huh.
podcast,
Yeah.
and they did like their 200 episode special,
Mhm.
and they were going through the top 25 PS4 games of all time,
Yeah.
and number one was Red Dead Redemption 2. And
Oh.
I was like, okay, like, yeah, that was really an incredible game. I never got to the very end of it. I never finished the whole thing.
Oh, you
So I
didn't
was
finish
like,
the story.
maybe that's when I can like go back and just sink my teeth into. Because I don't think there's too many things coming out like this summer, man, that are gonna be like,
No, it's pretty dry. As far as
yeah,
I
it's really
know.
dry.
Pretty dry.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be like kind of like backlogging a little bit.
Dying Light is actually $45 currently at GameStop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Go
brand new.
swip.
So for
I
the
need to go
Xbox
snag
or
it.
for the PS5 version.
See,
So
and
that's
that's what I wasn't sure which console I should buy it for. I was thinking about buying the Xbox version actually,
yeah, I would probably buy it
because
for the one that you haven't given any love to in a while.
yeah,
Just to give it some spin. But the trophies
yeah.
are always nice to have, on the PlayStation if you like that type of shit. So
Yeah, I usually play most games on the PlayStation. I mean, maybe I'll try to get back into Horizon, but I'm still over. I didn't play it all week. I didn't play it not 1 minute this week, so I don't know if
you
I'll
need to
get
let me
back into
borrow
that.
that shit, bro.
I know, right? So
Especially if you ain't playing that motherfucker, man. I need to check that shit out.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I'm at, man. But yeah, man, so much work this last week.
Yeah.
All weekend, working till
For sure.
midnight, like every day. So it's been like really tough. But there. So finally, tomorrow I'm kicking off break with Top Gun. We're gonna go see Top Gun.
Okay. Yeah.
Tomorrow, so that should be fun. And then yeah. What about you, man? How you doing? What you been up to?
I've been doing good, just the same old stuff, just trying to duck as much work as possible at work, but you know how that goes.
You're the king of that, man. You are really good at that.
But
You're the master of that, bro.
as far as like the games or whatever, I tried to play a couple of those ones that we had talked about that were just added to Game Pass recently. So I played that Witch one. Do you remember which one that was?
Oh, that Witch in the Woods or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's butt naked ass, dude. Like it's trash, bro.
Oh, it's really bad, huh?
It's so okay. So I think it's trying to play like some detective stuff or something, but like it was conversation after conversation after conversation. There was no way to skip it. the entire conversation. You just had to button mash through all the shit, and that means that you had to like wait for all the words to process onto the screen, then get rid of them, and then wait for the new set of words. You know what I'm saying? So you had to button mash to like bring up the words to get out of the words. You know what I mean? Like step by step through each of the talking, and this bitch talked nonstop, and it was just boring as fuck. Like I don't even know no other way to put it. Like I started
Dude,
playing it.
when are these developers, man, gonna figure out
You got it. If
we
you're gonna
don't
have
want
that
that
much
much
dialogue,
talking?
dude, at least use voices, man. Like that's insane to expect me or anybody else to read it. Like if I'm developing a game, I'll fucking do the voiceovers, dude. With that much dialogue, I'll do the voiceovers. Like
You'll just
I'll
change
just
your
be in that
voice.
bitch and hey, you know what I mean, to like sound like a female or something. Like I'll voice mod my shit or something, dude. There's got to be another way around it because that's just no,
Dude,
it's
even
atrocious.
voice though, bro. Even voice, it should be taboo. Game
Even
developers should
voice,
try to
but
be as little wordy as they can, or slip it into the gameplay like Naughty Dog does, right? Like
yeah,
as you're
while they're
playing,
moving,
yeah,
yeah, and
like
you're
do the
doing stuff
dialogue
and they're
and
talking.
character development that way,
Exactly,
rather than
yeah.
making us sit through like, oh, it's so excruciating. These
It
games, man,
was
that
like
do that.
the first 10 minutes was basically trying to figure out what the fuck is going on for one, right? Because you've got like this witch, she's sitting in a train and she's talking, and there's two names popping up, but only one person. Now this person slightly changes her facial appearance as she's talking, and it seems as if she's got like a dual personality or she's talking to her inner self or something like that. I don't know what's going on. Then they have this conversation about boots. They somehow end on boots and whether there's a tradition to take off your boots as you step off the train into this platform,
Oh, dude,
or
no,
if you can
you're
keep your shit on.
excruciating me, man. You're excruciating
So
me.
like
That's
after
ridiculous.
after you sit here and you have this conversation with yourself, then
Gotta listen to that.
you go and you talk to the bartender, and then you have to talk to the bartender about boots and whether that's like a thing or whatever. And he's talking, and then she's talking, blah 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 blah, and then finally you get to leave him, and then you have to go all the way to the next cart to then go talk to one of the train attendants to talk to them about the boots and see how they feel about the boots and whether they should be worn untied or tied to take them off quickly or whatever. I was like, fuck this, man.
Weird.
I'm so glad I didn't download it. I just clouded it. But I was like, this shit is not it, bro. I'm not doing this. So I dumped that shit. And then I went back, I played some Tunic for a little bit longer. But not too much longer or whatever, probably like a day or so. And then I actually just played Floppy Nights this morning
Yeah, that's what I
because it
played
was
all week.
available.
I played Floppy Nights this week.
Okay. Yeah, it's for
So,
some reason it's available cloud, but it wasn't available to install. At least on
oh,
my
weird.
console, it wasn't.
I pre-installed it,
Did you? Okay.
so it was on my
I saw
system.
I saw a pre-install option, but for some reason it just said a pre-install, and then it said play on the cloud. So normally it would just be an install, or the cloud or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be like a pre-install. So it was weird. So maybe my shit didn't update or whatever. But I played it on the cloud, and it was interesting. It's a little tough, it's really a strategy thing, because you got to figure out like, okay, where can I move? I got to make sure my dude don't die, so I can't rush out there too far. I got to like take baby steps, attack something, move away or whatever, to try to figure out how you're going to do that stuff. But I thought it was okay. I thought it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? Like I might give some time into it more if I don't end up having anything else to play. But it's not like one of those things where like, oh, I'm just like not gonna watch any anime or TV or anything like that, and and go and play that. I'm gonna probably stop and go watch Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I'll go and do some other shit, and
Mhm.
then eventually, like in the morning, if I wake up and I have some time, I'll probably put that on because I don't have anything else to play. So that would be it. But yeah, I was just like, I thought maybe that witch thing was gonna be like a hidden gem. It was not. It was
Bummer.
basic
Bummer.
ass. Like, yeah, it was flat ass. So
Yeah,
it was no bueno.
I actually thought Floppy Night was a tad easy. But I have a lot of experience with those games. That's
Uh-huh.
just like Advanced Wars, right? Or like any of those turn-based tactical
I mean, yeah,
game.
it's easy. It's just you have to not be greedy. You have to stop yourself from not just advancing too far out there, right? Because the moment you walk too far out there, then shit just comes up on you and then just starts, ambushing you or
Well,
whatever.
you got to look and see what all the other units' distances are, so you don't walk into them. You know how to do
Yeah,
that?
I guess I didn't I know you can like click on them or whatever to see, what they're doing, but I mean like with the
Yeah.
knight,
So
you
you
gotta
basically just like you click on them and you press Y, you just see how far they can attack, and you just put them, walk them into areas they can't do that.
yeah.
But what's cool about it, which made it, in my opinion, easy, I guess, is because you can kind of avoid what you're saying because you have multiple move cards. So
Hmm.
like you couldn't move in, attack, and then just move out. So you can like move into range and then move out of range. Where like in Advanced Wars you can't. Once you
Yeah.
make your move, like you're
You're stuck
stuck there.
there.
You
Yeah.
can't get out of there. So like
Yeah.
I
I
was
was
finding
I
it
was
kind of easy because
moving
of that.
I was moving in and then I was trying to hit as much shit as I possibly could, going further and further in, like just trying to see what I could kill off and whatnot. But I think it's probably just I just had to, just like pace it. It was different once, I bring like another guy in and then, I'll move those guys in a little bit further to deal with shit and then like trying to just figure it out or whatever, but it wasn't like, oh, it was like super tough. It was just like, damn, got greedy, just went out there too far and
Yeah. I
didn't
mean,
check the
some of that stuff is like second nature
space.
for me to just start doing that.
Hmm.
Because I have a lot of experience. Dude. I put like probably 100 hours into what's that one that I like? The FTL into the breach. The one that Mark and I really like. It's called Into the Breach.
Oh,
It's
okay,
made from
yeah, I
the
definitely
people
have
that
played
made Faster Than Light. You probably never played FTL either.
that.
FTL Faster Than Light's like one of my favorite games ever made. And then they developed Into the Breach, which is like one of the best strategy games I've played. Really incredible.
Hmm.
And I played like so many hours of that. So like I have a lot of experience in this genre. So
Hmm.
this one feels a little bit like shallow in as far as like strategy depth as like Into the Breach does,
Yeah.
or like even Advanced Wars does. So I actually was thinking about trying Triangle Strategy, that Switch game called Triangle Strategy. Have you heard of that game?
No. Uh-uh.
It was a Switch game that released this year actually.
Mm.
I think in March. And it's called Triangle Strategy, and it's got like the
Okay.
exact same artwork as Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
You'd probably like Octopath Traveler. You might want to check that one out. That one's
That
really
one is
cool.
that one turn based?
Yeah, that's on Game Pass. It's turn based,
Yeah.
but it's not a strategy turn based. It's an RPG turn based. So
Okay.
like you go to a battle scene and you pick your ability and you attack. It's like one of those turn based games.
Yeah, I
It's
kind of
not
been
like a
low key
strategy
off of
RPG.
like turn based RPGs since like Square Enix and freaking Final Fantasy. Like I I just kind of get bored with them sometimes, having to sit there and wait.
Well,
So
sometimes I get in the mood for them. For me,
yeah.
it's not like all or nothing. Like sometimes I want to be in the action, pressing buttons. Sometimes I
Hmm.
just kind of want to chill and like take my time and like attack and like be chill with it. Especially if
Yeah.
I'm watching my daughter. I guess turn based is getting more and more valuable to me. Now that I like have my daughter to watch, for hours on end.
Yeah,
It's
you could
nice to
just
be
click
able
a
to
button,
just
do all your moves, and
yeah
then
yeah. I don't
take the
have to
time
like
to
make
let them
sure.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is why Horizon's a little bit tougher to play, but like floppy nights has been dope because I could just kind of like take my
That
time
one's
with
turn
it. And
based. Yeah.
it's turn based, so I could just be really chill with it. Press a
Right.
button, stop, watch my daughter. It's just really nice. So like it's more mood for me when
Hmm.
I'm in the mood to play. But yeah. So basically, I think I might try Triangle Strategy, see what that's all about. Um,
Okay.
but
And that one's free.
that one, no, that was not free. That's a full price game. It
Oh,
was a
okay.
it was a triple A game for the Switch.
Gotcha.
But I also thought about maybe trying to play War Groove, which is basically 100% copy, 100% inspire from Advance Wars. But I
Mm.
did play it, and they have really long games, dude.
Yeah.
Like the maps are big, and the units are a lot. And if you lose, you just got to start over the whole thing. And that was like a total buzzkill. It's like there's no way, dude.
So
Like I
almost
can
like
dump this much time.
what was it, Sifu or something like that?
Yeah,
Like
almost
having
like
to start like the
Sifu.
whole like
The whole
map
thing
session
over
over
again.
again.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just a lot to like. Come on, man! All that work, and I just barely lost. I got to do it all over again. You kidding me? Like,
yeah,
there's not a checkpoint somewhere. Like, that's why floppy nights is a little bit more appealing because like they're just long enough. Like the matches
mhm,
are like they're not hyper short, but they're like not hyper long. They're just like really good lengths. They feel
yeah.
really good. I just I have a hard time with like the deck building aspect because like it's like I don't really know like
What you should take
do
out and
should
what
I
you should add
add
in.
this in my deck? Yeah, is this better than this? Like,
I
I
think
don't know.
monsters you should add in, but there's got to be. I hope that there's some way to get more energy to start with besides the
Yeah,
five.
I agree. And
'Cause
also,
I feel
like,
like you're kind of assed out with five.
I agree too. You're like, dude, monsters are good to add in, but at the same time, I need move cards. I need attack cards, which is
Yeah,
why I kind of like the traditional turn based, like Advance Wars, because every character has a move. So I don't have to worry about like drawing a move card to move.
yeah.
Like, that's what's so strange to me about it with
Well,
the deck building aspect.
you know what's nice about the floppy or the kicking pot or whatever. The first like little
Yeah,
monster
the
shit
kicking pot.
is
Yeah, yeah,
because he'll
yeah.
give you that extra card that's a move card and
Your
it's zero.
hero, your hero card. Your hero card gets a move card off top.
Yeah, yeah, that one, but that one costs one energy. But
But
the floppy pot
when
gives
you
you
first
zero.
play it, you get a move card. But every turn after that, you need to draw move cards.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When you first play the floppy pot, you get
Right, yeah. You get
a zero move
that
card.
first green one or
That
whatever that
first
comes with
move,
it.
yeah, which
But
helps.
I'm saying like if every time that you play the floppy, the kicking pot or whatever it is, it always pulls one extra card that comes out into your deck and it's a zero charge move
Move,
card.
yeah,
So it's
yeah, yeah,
free.
yeah,
So you can
yeah,
use that on whatever you want. So if you put mad pots up in your shit, you know, you can have all the move cards you want that don't cost anything. Obviously,
yeah. They're
you're
just so
costing for
weak
the
though. But
monsters,
yeah,
but yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe there's something that like buffs, you know, the set of your monsters. I got one that was like you probably got it too because I don't know how much you played or whatever, but there was like
I'm in the lava zone. I'm in the
oh,
volcano
I'm
zone.
still in the forest. So you got that green dagger
Oh,
then?
okay.
Did you grab the green
Yeah.
dagger where every time you use it, it increases in
Yeah,
attack?
I just recently, but it increases the cost too.
It does.
So that's what's so
That's another
frustrating.
downfall.
It
Yeah.
increases the attack, but increases the cost. Like, dude, that sucks. Why not
Yeah.
just let it like stay the same cost and
Let it yeah,
increase?
let you
Like,
keep using it
because
and
you're
it just gets
spending
better
mana to
and
even
better.
increase it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I don't know the cap on it. Do you know the cap on it?
I don't know the cap on it. Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
because the
know.
most I've seen, I used it once and then it was a 2. And then I was like, damn, okay, it costs a lot more. Okay,
I
well,
like that.
I
I
don't know
like
if it
that.
caps off or not.
I know it's like that's a lot of mana to
I
spend on
mean,
one
if
attack,
it capped
but
off
you
at
hit
2,
hard,
but it kept going, then that would be dope. I
right?
don't mind paying
I
the 2.
never went beyond two either, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that Reap and Sow card
The
where like
Reap
you
and
can
Sow is
move
pretty
and then
nice. You move
attack,
and then
and
it
then
gives
you
you an
can
attack.
move
Yeah.
again. It like just keeps flipping back and forth. So it's
Yeah.
like, dang, that's strong.
But you don't have anything to give you energy charge. You
Right.
know
You
what I
run
mean?
out of
So
energy, but it's just nice because you can just like really you could do some cool combos with it. But
yeah, I know that in the blacksmith area or whatever, you could make one card that says if you draw a card, you gain 1 energy. So I
mhm.
don't know if that would correlate with the other cards like the kicking pot. Like if you kick pot and then you draw a card, boom, 1 extra energy on top of that, because that would be really nice. That's
Right.
getting that right back. And then if you do something like that reap and sow, I don't know if that's considered drawing the card again because it comes back to your hand.
Oh, and yeah, I don't
You
know
know
if
what
it's
I
a
mean?
draw.
So
It flipped.
I wanted to check
I don't
it
know
out.
what that. Yeah, I don't know what that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
count as.
Because I
Yeah.
know you use it and it comes out of your hand, but I don't know if like it coming back to your hand is like considered a draw or if that's not, you know. But I don't know. I have
And
to
then
like play around with it more to see.
it has the same exact kind of like curse that you were just talking about. It's wordy too, right? Like you're just like, come on, click, 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 do
Yes.
this.
But
Da, 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 da.
you can hold A
You
on it
can,
and it'll
you
skip
can
it
get
too.
through it. But I'm just saying it's the same exact
It's wordy as
BS,
fuck, yeah.
right? Like I
And
don't care. I want to go to the next
yeah.
round. Like,
I don't even know what's going on. I started listening to it and I was like, oh, okay, it's a boy or a girl or whatever that created a robotic arm that's got an AI intelligence and she put it on. I don't know why it's so skinny. did she not have an arm before and she got
Yeah, I
a
was wondering if she
upgrade,
lost her arm.
or
She
what?
cut
Because
her
it's
own
looking
arm
a little
off to
skinty.
have
Was she
that, or if it's a
malnutritioned?
glove kind of arm thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
but it didn't look like that. It was like a pipe. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
forearm solid like her other side of
Mm-hmm.
her arm was or whatever. You know, so I was a little curious about that. And then like once like the I was listening to her talk to her parents, and I was like, damn, this bitch is buff as fuck. And then
That was
it
her
said that
mom,
she was
right?
like
Her mom.
she was a blacksmith. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why she's so yoked, because he's pounding that hammer all day. And the dad's like, you know, like a nerd, like a tech nerd or whatever. So he's like all skinny and frail. But after that, I stopped paying attention to it. I like
I know,
moved
right?
on.
Like you get to
I
the
was like,
point and
okay,
you're
all
like,
right.
you come to the garden and it's like, he's just dragging on. Like, dude, I don't
What
need
are we
this
talking
many
about here?
detail.
Let's
Tell
play
me
the
you got some
fucking
goblins in your
mission.
yard. You got
Yeah.
some goblins in your yard that you get rid of. Okay, I'm
I
on the
gotta
job.
I
Like,
got a job. I'm going to do the
why,
job.
why you
Hey,
gotta?
hey, what's good, Blue? What's good, Arachnid?
What's
Appreciate
going
y'all
on?
dropping
What's
in.
going on, everybody?
But yeah, so after that, after a certain point, man, I just was kind of like, all right, like I'm just gonna skip. And I had seen it skip once, and I was like, damn, I have to like. I was trying to figure out what button, and I was pressing some shit, and I saw it again, and I pressed another thing, and I saw it like reset, and I was like, okay, I just gotta hold down A to skip all this bullshit. Because if you lose a
Yeah,
match from doing a wrong move, you have to listen to all the shit again. It just doesn't go right into the
dude,
to the
you can't
thing.
just retry it.
So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it's not just like an instant retry. It's like you got to play the whole scene over again. I'm like, come on, man. This
Arachnid.
ain't Elden Ring.
Right now we're talking about Floppy Nights. It's a
We definitely
Game
gonna
Pass
talk
game.
about that
But
PS5
yeah,
Pro
we
though,
will
man.
talk about PS5 Pro for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, but I mean, as far as the things I've been playing, you know, that's been it. But yeah, so you know, before we get into the show and everything like that, we have quite a few things to talk about. Like we were looking through it and we were like, shit, man, it's a lot of like small topics and stuff like
Hmm.
that to go over. But you know, we have like some information that we just found out that Xbox decided to pass on doing any type of Marvel games. Period. They just wanted to work on their own IPs, which is that's real interesting. We're gonna get into
Yeah, we're
that.
gonna talk about that for sure. Yeah.
You know, and then also God of War Ragnarok, Jedi Jedi Survivor new trailer that dropped, and a couple of new Sony shows that are in the works that we knew there was something down the pipeline, but these I was a little like, oh, okay, they're going there. All right. But yeah, before we get into the first topic, let's get into this intro. I love you, me. All right, man. So, like I said, for the first topic, Microsoft is turning down deals to do games from Marvel, which is really fucking interesting, right? Because the quote that was used, I think from like James Ong or whatever, was that they said, "Nah, we're gonna chill. We're gonna work on our own IPs instead of doing that." And here we are. It's 2022, and we have no first party. What the fuck is going on? Like, what happened?
Yeah,
We could've just
yeah.
done it and just saved us all the time.
I think that's kind of like what. Yeah, I thought the same thing, dude. Like that was like my immediate thought. It's like you're turning down free IP. It's
What the
not
fuck
free,
you
but it's like
doing?
they're offering you IPs. Dude, you can't come up with any IPs. You can't even get an IP out. Like, why would you not jump on this opportunity to
It's
like make a
there.
popular game?
Yeah,
Like, you
it's
could do
there.
anything. Like, you could literally do anything, dude. Like, I'm like, what were they thinking? Like, oh, if we can't do Spider-Man, we don't want to do nothing. It's like, well, dude, Iron Man's dope too, you know? Like, I really enjoyed the flying in Anthem. Remember Anthem? That game
Yeah,
that
I never played it.
we
Yeah.
were all so hyped to play Anthem, dude. Like
Once I
at
heard that
that
everybody was
E3.
shitting on it, I just didn't play it. I didn't even buy it. I was like,
Well,
man,
I'll
I
say
dodged the
this.
bullet.
The one thing they did good was the flying. Like you
Okay.
felt like Iron Man. It was
Yeah.
sick. Like that would be a fun game, dude. Like if they could like do I'm just saying there's lots of cool characters you could make a video game out of that doesn't have to be, you know, a Spider-Man or Batman or any of these main heroes. Like there's lots of good heroes you could make, and I think people would be just excited for them, especially if it's exclusive to your console. And
Yeah.
that's what it looks like they were offering. They had
They
no
don't.
deals. They said, we got no tie downs. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And they said they want to focus on their own IPs,
It
which we
doesn't
have
make
none of.
sense. And then it's like, okay, this happens, and I don't even know when. I didn't read through the article entirely to see exactly when this conversation even took place. But if we're talking about like before Marvel's Avengers was even picked out of the lineup of games to be done or whatever by Square Enix, like, you know, there was all that controversy like, oh, we don't have access to Spider-Man over here on the Xbox. You know what I mean? We got to do that over here. Like that same conversation could have been had if you had decided to take a Hulk and like, oh, we want rights to Hulk.
Dude,
Don't
Hulk would have been
don't
a
put
dope
Hulk
game.
in shit else, but in our, you know, our version. So like, oh, Square Enix is doing Marvel's Avengers. Okay, Hulk ain't available on Sony. Hulk is available on Xbox. You know what I mean? We got a Hulk game coming. I mean, shit, Sony got Insomniac scooped up 2 of them bitches. They was like, all right, well, shit, we'll take Spider-Man. You know what? Give us Miles Morales too. You know what I mean? We like that guy. You know, hey, we're gonna do a Wolverine as well. You know what I mean? Like they just grab bagging that shit. Like they did exactly what needed to be done. They saw the call and they answered. They had all the names that they wanted and pulled them shits out. And I don't know.
You almost can't mess up with the Marvel hero as long as it's not based on a movie, right? But like if you make like your own story in your own game, you almost can't help but sell copies of it. Like it's almost impossible to not be successful. And
I'm
like
a BioWare
really
guy. They fucked that Anthem game up, man.
Yeah, we loved BioWare, man. We were huge fans of Mass Effect, you know, and some of these games. But it was a shame. I still bought Anthem, even though it was.
But you bought it at the low price, right?
Yeah, and
you
I even bought.
It was like
I even
$10.
bought. Yeah, I bought a low price, and I even bought a second copy of it, $5.
You really went in
just in case you got it and everyone else. Just because they were talking about all the upgrades.
Did you trade it away or something or what?
Yeah, I traded it away. I sold it. Right. And they were talking about though, right? They were. It was all over the internet, article after article about all the upgrades and like the new loot system.
2 is coming out 2.0.
Yeah, and so I was like, dude, I'm gonna snag this $5 copy because like if it gets popular again,
you'll be able to resell it or something.
And we could play it, right? And I'm like, it's only cost me $5 on Black Friday or whatever. And they dropped it. They said, you know what? Actually, we're done developing. It's like, dude, they didn't do the No Man's Sky route.
They just on that shit.
Like, you know how No Man's Sky didn't give up, you know, like they just gave up on it.
I really wish they had just moved it to a different developer. You know what I mean? Like just how like Blue Point took over for the redevelopment of like Demon Souls. Like if they could have just found a different developer to be like, hey, like we want this game to actually do what we meant it to do. Like just try to take it and see if you can make something more out of it, and you can just take the profits from here on, add some you know in-game purchasing shit, and you know, and then you guys get that profit. But we at least want to see it go. Like don't just leave it dead in the water, man. There were so many people that were still playing that game, even as ass as it was. You know what I mean? Because they liked it, and maybe they were just trying to boost their stuff up so that they were ready for that. You know, when they did release that 2.0, they got all the shit they need.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, you're right. A lot of people kept playing because they heard about they were going to upgrade the 2.0 or whatever.
I even considered getting it, you know, because I saw that, but I just, you know, never got around to it because I didn't hear it was coming up. And so they
showed some screenshots of like how loot would drop and more legendaries, and like, dude, it did honestly, like it felt really good to fly, like the way that like Insomniac captured web slinging, you know, like, and it just felt so good that you just kind of enjoyed doing it.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't even need to fast travel. You enjoyed.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. You would web sling. Yeah, you didn't even with my PS5 Pro. It was still fun to web sling, even though I had instant fast travel times.
Right.
But Anthem felt so good to fly. Like it was really well done, man. Like it's just because they screwed it up again. It wasn't rewarding enough. It wasn't interesting enough. You got bored so quick because they didn't give you no reason to keep playing. It was just the common pitfalls of like a lot of these games, like Avengers too. Like we never seem to learn, how to like make a game feel right. Like Diablo felt right. Like a
Yeah.
lot of companies just can't do it. And
Yeah.
so I think if you took that concept though and put it in a Marvel game,
Mm-hmm.
like with Iron Man, and like had a really good company develop a really good feel of flying and like a good combat and then a good storyline, like what Marvel Spider-Man has, dude, I
Yeah.
think like you could have a winner there easily. Like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hulk too
Ragnar
is a
said.
great one.
Yeah, Ragnar is saying he didn't think Anthem was ever going to take. And I mean, I felt like they had a good basis there. Like they had a good base there. They just needed a lot of improvement. So I could have easily seen Anthem being in the same category as like No Man's Sky or even Fallout 76. Like those two shit the bed hard when they first came out, but they managed to spin it around like to a total complete 180. You know what I mean? Where like more and more people were just getting in it and just enjoying it because it was what it should have been. Fallout 76 had no NPCs and it was just straight bunk. And then they added all of that in, and now it's just like a large ass, Fallout world that you can be in with other people. You know what I'm saying? And No Man's Sky, they fucking have been crazy with their shit,
They're
man.
still working on that.
It just constantly, yeah, it was just last week was another update that was done on there, another upgrade or whatever to the game. And that's just nuts. So I could have definitely seen a company like BioWare at least excelling over what No Man's Sky did. Like No Man's Sky was just a little indie and they put that game together and they managed to do tremendous work on that game. So for you to sit here and tell me that these indies can put all this time in this, but your, multi-million-dollar company can't devote a little bit of more time to this game to make it better, like to own up to your name, that's kind of bullshit, man.
Totally.
Like
Totally. It
they
was so sad.
definitely, and I'm telling you, that game would have been up there in the charts. Like it would have been like, highly played if they had released that 2.0 like they were talking and did all of those changes that were so bad with the first part of it.
Yeah.
And
Like
increased.
no one's denying, right? Like Anthem was an ambitious game. But I think, dude, from the moment they revealed it, you remember that E3 when they
Mhm.
revealed that dude flying and then he went into the water? We
Yeah,
were all hyped for it, and I
dude.
think like
They
we all
they gave
thought it
too
was
much
gonna take.
anticipation for it doing showing that shit.
Yeah, we all thought it was gonna take. Like I was super pumped, but yeah, maybe from the demo when people actually got to play it, it kind
And
of
they
started
realized how bad
hurting
it
a
was.
bit.
Yeah.
But man, dude, they had a couple things they did really well in that game, and then they like Golly said, they just dropped it. They just entirely. They had a lot of stuff. They had a lot of good things they could have. Why they completely dropped it? Maybe they're
Mhm.
just too embarrassed. I don't know what the
I
issue
don't
was,
know.
but there's
I
some
feel like you
potential
would be
there.
trying to get your money back at some point. I would
Yeah,
have I would have made so many upgrades to the damn game and put so much in-game purchasing shit that I would have made, the money that I lost because of all of the bad publicity that I got. You know what I'm saying? Like there was another
absolutely.
way around
Yeah,
it, dude.
yeah,
It's
absolutely,
good,
dude.
702.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I kind of feel like this is in a similar vein to that they
Mhm.
just completely messed up here because
Yeah.
I do think there's some great Marvel characters that have not been grabbed yet that are up for grab still. Like I think you mentioned a totally awesome one, Hulk, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think Iron Man would, in my opinion, would be a
I just
great one
think
too.
Hulk just comes to my mind because it's green, and Xbox was always repping green. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's a great
he's
one to
fitting
pick. You
there
can have
too.
a lot of fun with that, dude. Like
Yeah.
to not want to take those freebies, I don't understand it. I don't really get it, especially when they said they want to work on their own IPs when they can't even get their own IPs in order. So it's like I don't understand that. I just can't
Yeah,
make sense
it's
of that.
yeah, it just blows me away that you guys say you wanted to work on your own IPs. You have like so many fucking studios, but yet none of your studios could produce shit this year in
Yep.
2022. Like, I mean, it might have been like it might have been super easy to like reskin another fucking game that you had. You know what I mean? And throw a Marvel character in it or something like that. Like,
Yeah, Arachnid Soul, that Evolve game. There was a lot of hype for that Evolve game.
It
as
was.
well. Yeah, that 4v1 monster fighting game. I know Mark Araya was really pumped about that one, and that died hard too. That
Yeah,
died
yeah.
real hard. You could find that for a dime on your local eBay store, man. Like probably $1 at the GameStop. Like
It's
that's
free.
how
I thought
hard
it's
it
free now.
dropped.
Like,
It's
didn't they
probably
give it to us for
free.
free
It
with
might even be
PlayStation
free.
4?
Yeah, it might even be free. Yeah, some games just eat it hard, man. That have like lots
Yeah,
of hype,
they do.
like real hard L's.
Yeah, they take major L's, man. I
Major
don't,
L's.
I don't know what it is. It's always like a slew of just like shitstormed fucking bad ratings that just come their way. And it's just like, ooh, this bitch is gonna take hard. Like, it's not even just like one or two people, it's like everybody. They just chimed in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate this shit. And then it's just scores terrible, all that, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
But yeah, man. So let us know down in the comments, you guys watching and whatnot. Let us know. Do you think Microsoft fucked up by not just taking a Marvel game? Like any character, they could have piggybacked off of. Like they could have been like, hey, let us know what's coming up for your new shows. Disney Plus has always got shows. What's next down the pipeline? Oh, okay, Moonlight. Let's make a fucking Moon Knight game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something that would be able to catch a wave from something else. Although Moon Knight, probably wouldn't.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't have an opinion on it. But
probably
I know
be the
what you
one
mean.
you want to do.
Like Loki, a Loki game, right? Or like,
yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Loki,
yeah,
but,
yeah,
you
something that's popular you could piggyback off of, right?
right,
Yeah, like
right, yeah,
or Doctor
like,
Strange, like the new movie's coming out, so go ahead and make a game about him, and that could be
just
fun.
It's too many characters, and that they at least are announcing, what is coming, in Q4, whatever is coming down the pipeline. So you could just preemptively try to work, okay, like 2 years down the line, what do they got? Okay, all right, we'll take this character, then we'll do it so it'll come out right before, and maybe we can work with you guys and have some shit that's canon. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can figure something out.
Totally, yeah. It's just a failed opportunity.
Yeah, but let us know how bad they fucked up down in the comments below. But moving on to the next topic, TCL talks about a PS5 Pro and a new Xbox Pro or whatever. I don't even know if you could pro that, whatever. But like they coming out with some new shit.
Scorpio 2.0, man.
2023, 2024. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, when I see 2023, 2024, first of all, I'm thinking, for the fuck what? Like, why? Why are you doing that? Because you can't even get your shit on shelves. They're not readily available, like, at any time, at any store. And now you're thinking of a new console, okay? And then 2023, 2024, I'm thinking, okay, it can't be 2023. That's just too soon, man. It's not even 5 years that it's been out. So you're coming out with a console this early seems way too early. It definitely can't be no slim, because how much slimmer can you make that fucking Xbox Series X, right? That shit's, it's a square. It's a rectangle or whatever. Like, I don't know, a trapezoid maybe? Shave some of the corners off. But I don't know what the purpose of being, having these new consoles. But how do you feel about this, man?
Dude, like, yeah, first and foremost, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just they cannot pry themselves away from tradition. But come on, we're in a different era right now with this chip shortage and this COVID. We're just getting over it. What's wrong with waiting another year or two, man? What's wrong with extending this generation a little longer? Because it's kind of like a late generation start anyways.
Yeah,
like no one's been able
for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, no one's been able to get their PS5 yet anyways, right? Like, why not just expand it a bit? I don't understand. Why put yourself in this predicament just to ultimately fail again? Like, it's going to happen. We don't have chips to make PS5s. How are we going to make even more modern chips to make PS5 Pros? Like, it just makes absolutely like zero sense to me. And truth be told, I said this back when we were talking about the launch of the PS5. Mm-hmm. I couldn't think of a reason why I'd want to get a Pro, because the PS5 and the Xbox Series S are already pumping 4K 60 frames per second. Right. I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I don't feel this need or urge, and they do it pretty easily. Like the games aren't like struggling to pump these graphics out. I don't feel this need or urge to want to like, oh dude, I really need that upgrade like I did with the PS4 Pro. Like I
Yeah,
really felt how slow it was and I wanted the better speeds. I don't feel that way with this. I don't know if it's a solid state drive, but I'm happy with the terabyte solid state drive. Like why do I need
it
I don't
better
know
be.
what I'm upgrading here.
This shit better have a genie drive, man. It better put shit on there before I even know I want it.
Genie drive. Yeah, I know. It's like, what's going on, man? Like, I just, I am so uninterested in this. Like, this has
Yeah,
zero pull for me,
and kind of
and I'm
like
a gamer.
Yeah, and kind of like what Aragna is saying, you know what I mean? Like all of us who got PS5s, you know, within the last year or two, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of like in an exclusive club because there's just not that many floating around like that, you know? And you tell me that because I got mine's early, that in 3 years you guys have decided to come out with a new one, a better one. I thought I had the top of the line shit. You guys keep fucking with me, making these other games or all of these games for the previous console. So you're not even making it so that I got exclusive shit like, oh, you ain't played that? Oh, let me tell you about it. You know what I mean? You should get a PS5 type shit. And now you're coming out with this Pro. So I gotta hash out another $500-$600, right? If I want to join that next gen, or I just, I'm out of that loop or whatever. And then not even everybody has 8K televisions. People don't even really have 4K televisions. So
Heck no, my
and
TV
they're not
can't
even
even do
just
120.
that our console right now, our PS5 console shows 8K on it. So you telling me that this don't do 8K? Or are you saying that that's like native 8K or something like that? And
Probably is
then
what they're trying to say. I guess.
no games even give you 8K in graphics. They can barely pump out the fucking 4K and give you 60 frames. They give you 4K and 30 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't even do it themselves. So how are you
Well,
gonna tell me?
also, it's like, what if we really had like maybe 3 next gen games on our PS5, like Demon Souls, Ratchet and Clank, and like Returnal. Like all 3 of those games were freaking awesome, beautiful next gen experiences. I feel like we haven't even tasted really next gen, right?
Yeah, but
Like
remember
that's
we had
like,
that kind of they got us moment with Ratchet and Clank, right? Like we just like okay, this is like just a different world. You just crossed into a
oh
different
yeah,
area.
yeah, they didn't quite. You're right.
Like a
They
whole
didn't
new
quite deliver 100%. They could have done better on that. But I
yeah.
guess what I mean is like that. Those games like Demon Souls and like Returnal, those games are like really
Or
beautiful.
definitely
And
they
like,
were
yeah,
definitely like okay, this is next gen type
this
shit.
is cool. And like the controller, it's like I'm fine because I feel like we haven't even really experienced the PS5 generation yet.
Yeah,
And
dude.
like the few games I have experienced, like I enjoyed. Like just give me more of that. Like I want to just can I live in that for a little while
Yeah,
before like you push me into like another generation that I don't need?
until you stop making games for the PS4, there shouldn't be any thoughts of making a PS5 Pro. It should be that there's nothing but tons of games coming out strictly for the PS5 and for the Series X and the S. Like it shouldn't be that these are the you could play these on the Xbox One X or you could play this on the PS4. That shit should be dead in the water before you even think about trying to do a PS4 game.
Dude,
A PS5 Pro.
I had to camp out, man, to get my dad and my brother-in-law a PS5.
I know.
Like I had to stay
I
up to
remember.
like early morning hours to
Y'all
get
was
my
outside on Thanksgiving doing that shit.
yeah,
Like
yeah, dude. Like, I'm not trying. Come on, man. We're done trying to fight for a console, and now you have a PS5 Pro. Here's the
yeah.
only consolation. I hope people trying to get a PS5 get a deal now. Like maybe you can get like a PS5
Maybe
regular
it's
for
cheaper.
400 or something,
But
right?
then I'm
Like,
still salty because I paid what I paid. And dude, imagine all of those people who paid reseller prices just to get that shit when it came out.
dude, upgraded
You paid
prices.
you paid 1,200 for your console. And 3 years later, they bringing out the freaking Pro that's supposed to be better than your shit that you paid for. And the scalpers are gonna take that shit too. So you're gonna have to
Yeah, that's
pay
kind of like
give me
bouncing
that.
off what Arachne was saying, right? The notion that you bought this PS5, and what have we really played next gen. I could have played the whole generation on my PS4, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, what is the point?
We missed out on
Bringing
three
out another
games. You missed out on
generation.
3 games if you had a PS4 only. That's all you missed out on was 3 games, dude.
Literally
Like,
3 games that were for it. Right?
that's
I mean, maybe Deathloop you can count, but to be honest, that looked like a PS4 quality game. It
yeah.
was the fun of it was 9.5,
It was
10.
a great game, but
But
yeah,
as far as
definitely,
like what it's
definitely could have
capable,
been
yeah,
fully on
it
PS4
could have been
or
it could have been on a
Xbox. Yeah,
PS4 or an Xbox. Absolutely.
Xbox One. Yeah, for
Like
sure.
there's no doubt, right? The ones that felt next gen, like I don't think I could have played Demon Soul like on a PS4. Like I don't think it would have worked.
I
Or
think it would have
Ratchet
been a
and
lot of
Clank.
screen tears and
You
stuff
would
like
have to
that. And
do a lot of downgrading.
I think
Like the
Ratchet and
way it
Clank would
was,
have had a lot of
it was
fluctuating in the frames per second and stuff too.
you could tell they developed these games for the next gen console, and we've barely had any of those experiences, and so like I just wish they would focus more on giving us those experiences rather than pumping out a console that no one can even get anyways. It's
Yeah.
just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and just giving us some feature of like, some DualSense feature on a game that you still put out on the PS4 does not make it worth it. You know what I mean? Like I need specifically console exclusives. Like I don't
And
need.
also like this 2023 number is even more of a joke to me, because even if you look at this, it came out in
Mhm,
2013 and then 2017, 4 years later.
mhm.
And you're talking like it's going to be early in post COVID era. We're going to be getting our next Gen 9.5 in 2023. That's way late. I would push it to the 2025 at least. At least.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you look at each of these gens, they all had consoles on the shelves at any given time. You know what I mean? Besides like the first like week or two wave, they kept getting the influxes of new shipments in and they were always available. I never had a problem getting my PS4. I never had a problem getting a Pro. It was just, whether you wanted an exclusive version of it, or not. And then, these X's and these S, and these series and the PS5s, man, they've been the toughest out of these last couple of years, and or even ever. You know what I mean?
ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
And for them to go to this is just it's flabbergasting. Like it's crazy, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, like I agree. Like I think Arachnid always mentions this. Like no one has walked into like a Walmart, Target, a Best Buy, or whatever, and seen a PS5 on the
Staying on
shelf
the
to
shelf.
buy.
Yeah,
Like they just don't exist. They just don't exist. And we're
yeah,
talking about Gen 9.5. I think that's a joke. To me, it's laughable.
yeah, man. So let us know in the comments down below. Do you think that this PS5 Pro is due? Like, do you think we need this in our lives, or should they be just getting back to making the regular ones and fix that issue first before they even do this? Or, how do you feel about it? Do you feel that, that these consoles are still obsolete, that I'd rather just get a PC and then just upgrade my shit to the max and just have to worry about one part, a graphics card every time or something like that, Let us know down in the comments below. For the next topic, God of War Ragnarok has just recently been rated in South Korea. And so it's like, okay, for all of us in the US, like, oh, who gives a fuck? That's South Korea or whatever. But the key point of this is that they do not spend money on games to get rated anywhere if they're not ready to drop them shits. So if this has at least been rated in somewhere, that means that it's getting that much closer to actually being that reality of it dropping 2022. I mean, there's still possibilities for that shit to get pushed back. We can't deny that. But this is at least one step closer, where it's like, oh, maybe they delayed it for some scene or something like that wasn't appropriate for like another country or something. So we do this. I don't know. But at least this is putting us one step closer to confirmation that we're gonna get, this game. And this is a big title, from Sony. You know what I mean? And once again, Sony is producing more, first party titles where you're not getting shit from Xbox. But how do you feel about this news?
Yeah,
Ray?
this is interesting, man, because when the news broke, was it 2 weeks ago, I think, that Starfall was getting delayed until 2023, and we were just
Starfield, yeah.
taking a dump all over Microsoft, and I think they well deserved it. and I think it's ridiculous. I think it devalued Game Pass. I think it hurt Game Pass growth. I think it's just nothing but problems for Microsoft. I don't think there's anything good that comes from it. Apart from, of course, we want the game to be great. And so, of course, if you need a delay to make the game better, fine. But they were really pushing that 11/11 date, like on all marketing, on all advertising. It was a really, really major push by them to make us feel like we were getting that. And
didn't they give us that 11/11 date like in January or something? Didn't they have like an Xbox event and then they gave us
last year? Yeah, it was an Xbox event. And they told us, but they've been pushing it like hardcore. Yeah. Like all those little videos we talked about where like Howard or whatever was sitting around the table, always throwing like it felt very like for sure
video. And that didn't give us like any new information.
They just showed us like artwork.
Hey, we working on it, man, and we like really passionate about working on games and shit. We love doing stuff.
And so like that when that happened, I was so pissed at them because I'm a big fan of Game Pass, and I just thought it was an absolute travesty. They have no first-party games, at least yet, announced for this whole year, which is going against a promise that Phil Spencer gave us, a first-party studio title every quarter, which is just, it's been nothing but a mess, okay? So your first thought is like, okay, Sony has no pressure now. Right? Like, okay, so Sony...
They're going to pull back the reins.
They're going to pull back the reins. And like you said it, I said it. Our first thought is like, oh, now you know what's next, right? Is Ragnarok going to get delayed? Because why launch it? If we have no competitor, then why really launch it? But here's what I'm thinking now. What I'm thinking now is, you remember this was in the PS4 generation when Xbox announced Xbox One, and we got the PS4 announcement. And Xbox was trying to push the discless thing where you couldn't trade it, you couldn't share it, and that became a meme.
Here's how you trade. And then
and then Sony made their video. They kind of like, after Xbox dived, it's like, oh shoot, we're glad we didn't say anything yet. Because now we can change our direction and look like we were always consumer friendly from the start.
Well, shit, we're not going to be the first ones to go digital.
And so look at how easy it is on Sony to trade your games. And that literally annihilated Xbox's generation, honestly. Like, that was such a huge boom.
They had to recover from a lot with that one,
Yeah, they had to recover a lot. They had to build their brand back up because that was so it was such a travesty for them.
I think at the same time, that was the same time that the Connect or whatever.
Yeah, Connect was
like
bombing
always
too.
On, and it was like watching you
online
and
thing.
To you, even when the bitch was
a big deal.
So it was just like creepy.
It was like crazy. Well, I'm kind of feeling like Sony might have another one of those opportunities here. So like what I'm saying is like where everyone thinks Microsoft has lost its ability to provide for its consumer, Sony's going to come in and say, hey, look, we do, and we still are. It doesn't matter if there's no competitor. It doesn't matter if Xbox is not launching anything. We're still giving you, the player, the games we said we were going to give you. And now they get boomed again, all because of Microsoft. I feel like, it's like playing chicken. They looked away first. And Sony gets to pick up these pieces and come in like the hero. And you have quotes like this down here at the bottom, where you have the where is it? Down here from the game's animation director, Bruno. He says Ragnarok is coming this year, right? Like that's like huge. Like this is like Sony coming in, like I said, and stealing the thunder once again from Microsoft, and trying to capitalize on this whole consumer thing. We're like, hey, we say what we're going to do. We're going to do what we're going to do. And you feel pretty happy. Like as a PlayStation owner, like this makes me feel like super loved and like super happy. Like, hey, they didn't have a reason to give me this. They could easily delay because, hey, why? They have no competitor to compete with, but they're still going to give it to us. I think that's cool, man. So like, I don't know. This is awesome news.
Yeah. And kind of like what, we had kind of thought like the same way Arachne was saying, like when Elden Ring came out and like it was just doing numbers and everybody was raving about how good it was and stuff like that and just claiming it was game of the year. You're thinking like, okay, yeah, who would want to compete against that, right? Like if you did think that your game had a shot to come out in the year of something else like that, you know what I mean, would be tough. You know what I mean? Like you're guaranteeing that your shit is gonna come in either number two or it's gonna be a heavy uphill battle to be able to get it go against this type of a game. So you push it back, but I mean, if we look at this, Sony is just like, well, fuck it. I don't care if the damn game gets Game of the Year or not. Like, if it sells, it's gonna sell. Like, what does the
Absolutely.
title matter? Like, people, it's all it just means is you. I don't know.
They're gonna sell
I
20
don't
million
know
copies.
if you can like charge more off the strength of like, hey, we won Game of the Year like twice, or we won Game of the Year again. Our last game won Game of the Year. Like, you're not charging anymore for your game. You know what I mean? Yesterday's price is still today's price. It's not. It didn't go up because you guys got Game of the Year. So, like, it's a great accomplishment. But you can. There's so many different video game award shows. You can just probably win one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you're
there's
gonna win
somewhere
one of them,
that
and
somebody
then
liked your game more
right,
than Elden Ring. You know what I mean?
and then
So
you can have your Game of the Year edition version.
yeah,
Now.
yeah, you can have
Like
the
you just
trophy.
have to win it at one place, right? Yeah, I really think, dude, Ratchet, like I really think if it's, I thought that too, but come on, do we really have to? I feel like we're being cynical to think that these companies are delaying games just for a Game of the Year award. Like, no, I have to think like instead of it being the Game of the Year award, I do think Elden Ring influenced Starfield, and that I think they're trying to change how you play the game because of Starfield.
And
I
I
think
get
they
it
saw
boosts sales.
Starfield, and it's like they see Elden Ring and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is what people love. What
Yeah,
are we doing? We need to tweak this a bit." And I think it might be that. Maybe not that
but
they want to win the title, but they just saw that this is not the direction people want.
I mean, honestly, like, like Aragnid saying, yeah, it does boost sales when you win it, but being mentioned with some of those games as a nomination in that category boosts sales in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're telling me that, oh, like I played Elden Ring and I played these other two games, but I never played Starfield, but it got nominated, like that's gonna make me okay. Well, let me go and check it out. You know what I mean? Like that would at least boost that sale. And we're talking about like sales like way after the fucking fact. Like Elden Ring sold, hundreds, millions of copies already. So I don't know like why you would be worried about the sales that you get like way after. Like this is a fucking year later, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like 8-9 months. We moved on to another game. You know what I'm saying? Or we gonna have DLC coming that will boost our sales. I don't know if like getting Game of the Year is something that they're like people are really looking forward to. Now maybe with Xbox because they don't got shit, but even then that would have made me want to try to make a game so much more harder than Elden Ring to try to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like let me jam pack so much shit in this game that people say this is it. This is the one.
Yeah,
You know?
I think you're right. I think the only time Arachnid, I think's argument here is right, then I think generally what you're saying is right. But I think where Arachnid's argument here is when it's like an indie game or like a non-known game that wins Game of the Year, then you boost sales. But you're telling me like Elden Ring wins Game of the Year, everyone's already bought and played that. Like same with God of War, right? It's gonna sell 20
Starfield.
million copies. Like who are you really still selling it to? Like
Yeah,
everyone's really
Starfield would
playing
get
this,
mad downloads just
right?
for the
So
sheer fact that it's on Game Pass. So, like, I mean, who's really buying it after that? Like,
yeah,
I think
it's
everybody who
selling
was
when it's
gonna
gonna
play it
sell.
played it on Starfield.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
on Game Pass. So
yeah, exactly. These big first party games are selling what they're going to sell. But when a game like It Takes Two wins, you're like, oh shoot, now I want to try that game because I never
yeah,
played that,
that puts it on your
right?
radar even more. So
Exactly.
if you might have already known about the game, but just didn't, like, oh, I'll get around to it. But yeah, after you see it, it's like, oh damn, well, I gotta check this shit out now. It was up
Yeah,
there for several different awards, and it won at least one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different awards you can win besides that Game of the Year. Like, you get artistic style of the year, fucking RPG of the year. Like there's so many different categories that you could probably take one if you just put forth enough of the effort
yeah,
for it.
and I think too, like especially with God of War, like they already won Game of the Year when they first came out. like now that you have the sequel, you're not as worried anymore. Like we know we already have a Game of the Year quality
You got a
title
Game of the Year
here.
follow up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a Game of the Year quality title. It's already been known to be Game of the Year quality. We don't need to be winning that every time, right? So
And
they're
everything
just
they're showing you just looks like it's a
it
continuation of
just looks like a
the nice shit
DLC.
that you played already.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
hey,
It
we
looks like
keeping the
it.
same formula. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's nothing but win-wins over here. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think this is really cool. I'm interested by it. I really, really hope that Sony does continue with it. I think it would actually be a great move for their image. It'd be a great move for the consumer. I think they can get one up on Microsoft with this little, slide here. Like, hey, you delayed, but we aren't. Like, that's
Yeah.
big. Like, that's cool.
I mean,
So
all of this news stuff is like, it's very convenient when shit drops when it drops.
it's
It's just like, damn, you hear about
yeah.
something crazy on one side, and the other side you hear some new news like, oh, like we hear, oh, Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox Game Pass, and then it's like the next week you hear, oh, Ubisoft Classic is coming to PlayStation. So it's like, oh, we got something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It always seems like Sony
they're
definitely
playing catch up a lot.
They always, yeah. It's always like they kind of one up after Microsoft like sets the standard, right?
Except that
They kinda
Classic
one
shit
up.
wasn't no one up to the Plus.
No,
Man.
it wasn't. They were trying to, but it
That was a
definitely
2
wasn't
down.
no one up. We're talking about you're getting Ubisoft Plus on Game Pass versus here's some old games you never play, but we'll call it Ubisoft Plus Classic to kind of like seem like it's comparable.
Here's the
But
shit
it's
you
just a
never wanted
sham.
to play. We'll give it to you.
Here's what you never wanted to
Yeah.
play. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So,
But it's interesting. So, you guys let us know in the comments down below. Are you excited for this God of War Ragnarok release? Are you expecting with this good news that we will indeed get this shit by the end of the year? Or do you think that there's still a strong possibility that they're pushing this bitch back? Let us know.
definitely.
So moving on to the next topic. We have recently PlayStation State of Play coming, and that's June 2nd. So let me see.
Next
How far
Thursday.
is that from us? Next
Thursday.
Thursday. They literally spring these shits up like a week before to let you
Yeah.
know the shit's coming.
Literally less than a week. Yeah, away.
Yeah. But there was some interesting details in what they said that they were going to show for this one, and they said just like a couple of third-party games, and that they were going to show some sneak peeks or whatever of PSVR 2 games. So I did hear that they were going to actually show the PSVR 2. Hey, it was good, Jules. That they were going to actually show the PSVR 2 and give us like another presentation. I know they kind of gave us one before of the release of it, but maybe they'll talk a little bit more about it. I think do you think that they're going to just come out and show us Horizon Call of the Mountains or whatever again, or they're going to give us a couple more new ones? Like I just hope that they're not going to just show us more Horizon shit. I hope that they actually give us some new games that are coming out.
I think we're going to get both. I think we're going to get a little bit more footage of that Horizon game, and we're going to see some more games in development. But it just makes me so sad, man, because like I said back when they first revealed PSVR 2, I just wish it didn't have its own games being developed for it. I wish that you could play your PS5 games on it. And so whenever I see this, we always say that. And so like whenever I see this, I just go, oh man, like I don't know. I just think like I don't like seeing the Sony State of Play getting, in my opinion, cluttered up by this, right? I'd rather see games that they're coming out with that we get to play, relatively recent or coming out soon. Like, how about
everything?
How about a bit of Wolverine, right? How about more God of War? Like, how about more of these games that we're kind of waiting to see? Right. I think we're definitely going to see more Hogwarts. This is for sure going to be here.
You think it's more Hogwarts? They gave like a whole State of Play to Hogwarts before. You think they're gonna?
I know, but I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna reveal like some kind of like.
Maybe like the exclusive deals.
Yeah,
like
they're gonna be like
there was some type of
it's gonna be something like they're gonna show like a dungeon or something like, and this dungeon it will be exclusive to PlayStation. It
better be a big ass dungeon and have some good shit in there.
Dude, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-second dungeon. Once you hear that, you're buying that. You're buying that on PS5. You're buying the.
It's not gonna matter if it's just like a 5-minute dungeon that's exclusive.
Yeah, but you're not gonna buy the Xbox version. You're not gonna buy the Xbox version, even if it's 5 minutes, dude. Like that's all they gotta show. Just give us a little something extra, and we're buying it on the PS5.
They're gonna sell you the PS5 version because of the DualSense special effects that they're putting in there, man. They literally gave us a whole trailer on the DualSense.
You could pet your horse, dude, and like feel it on your hand.
You can feel the horseback ride as you're riding
Yeah,
through.
you feel like the horseback ride.
Yeah,
That's gonna
the
sell me,
broom
huh?
ride, man. You can feel the
What's
Quidditch
going
hits
on
when you
me?
get pounded while you're freaking pause in the game. But
Dude, and what about this? 30 minutes seems short, right?
I mean, yes and no. All of the state of plays have been around that 30-minute
That's true.
mark. I mean, they gave us that 30 minutes for Hogwarts Legacy, and I would have actually liked if it had been an hour.
I
But
guess the
I
reason
I think that
why
generally these are a little bit shorter. I wish
I
that they
guess the
were an
reason why is
hour.
because June is like E3 season. And so like I know there's no E3 this year, but it's
Yeah,
still kind of like the season of game reveals.
yeah.
And in E3 you get like a nice big production, and like I just feel like this seems, unless they're expecting to do something like later in July or something and
Well,
do
haven't they
one of
given
those
us a state of play
showcases
like
again.
every month?
It's like every couple months. But I want another one of those showcases. Remember when they did that, like it was all shiny with the diamonds, dude? I want another
Yeah,
one of
yeah, yeah,
those.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where's my yearly showcase? And
I
so
know. The
I'm thinking
PlayStation
maybe the
Experience
next
is
one,
something, man. I
the
want one of
next one
those.
will be better. But I think if it, because Microsoft is doing one on June 12th, and that's going to be a big one. Like, it's going to be a really big reveal that day.
Yeah, what was
And I just
supposed to
want
be
to
in
see
that one?
Sony match it. That's
I
what was
can't
that?
even remember. What was supposed to be in that
Well, I
event?
think we were all finally going to see what Starfield looked
Starfield.
like. Yeah. I know, dude.
Psych.
It's a
They killed
mess.
that shit. They should have.
It's
They
a
should have kept that
mess.
shit under wraps, man. Postponing it, and they should have announced it during the fucking the shit. That way, they would have got people to watch it. I think it's gonna be a lot less numbers watching this fucking show.
Dude, it's
In
such a
June.
mess. That one delay is like such a mess for them.
Yeah, that's
I can't even
crazy.
believe it.
But yeah, man. So this state of play is coming, man. It's right around the corner. So sound off in the comments down below what you guys think will actually be there at the state of play. Do you think they're gonna finally give us the price on this PSVR 2 headset? Are they gonna show us a bunch of cool ass games? Maybe they flipped the script and decided they weren't gonna make games solely specifically for the PSVR, that they were gonna integrate the PSVR into the regular ass games, which would be fucking dope. But let us know down below what you guys think. Moving on to the next topic we have. Let me see. Jedi Survivor trailer just released, man. So we're gonna have this playing in the
Yeah, this
background. No
just
sound,
launched
of course.
today.
Yeah, man. So it's like spick and span brand new news right here. But yeah, man, I was looking at this, and the first thing that came to mind would do was the CG looked like impeccable. Like this shit looked damn good. Yeah, I mean the CG always looks good, right? But
Yeah.
it looks so much like that actor. And it's also funny that this trailer releases when it does, because the new season or the new show, Star Wars Obi-Wan, just dropped like today. And they were saying that, like, the way this kind of comes out or whatever, that it could be a possibility maybe that you would see this character. I forgot what this guy's name is. I think it started with a C. I can't remember exactly what his name
Yeah, I
was.
can't remember his name either.
But there could have been a possibility that you might have ended up coming across him in the show, which would be interesting. You know what I mean? Because it is supposed to be canon or whatnot. So, and this is an actual actor, that's done well. They're all actors, but I'm saying like he's been in actual movies and shows and things like that. So to see him pop up on a screen walking by, or a quick interaction with Darth Vader, or with Obi-Wan or something like that would be pretty cool, or to see him, working in those mines, those mining areas or something like that would be pretty dope, to see, like, that's where his journey had started or whatever. So, but yeah, what
Yeah,
do you
this
think
one's a
about
little it's a little bittersweet because I think Jedi Fallen Order, they did
Mhm.
some good things really right in that game that were a lot of fun. Like the combat was really well. They did a great job with lightsabers and just the feel of all that, and like that
Mhm.
Dark Souls feel. But like
Yeah.
we talked about before, man, it wasn't rewarding. There was like no new armor to upgrade or find or loot to get. It was all just aesthetics, like
Mhm.
change the way the guy
Colorways and
looked.
stuff like that,
Yeah, a
yeah.
new lightsaber color or some, but it wasn't
Or
like
a
new
new
things to
poncho
play
or
with.
some shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like new things to kind of like play with. And so like I lost interest like halfway through that game. So like unless this game like makes fixes in that area, then I'm just a little bit like bittersweet on it. Like I feel like I would do the same exact thing. I'll play it for 6 hours and then just drop it, you know?
I know what you're saying. I did enjoy the story on this one. And I did enjoy the gameplay and things like that on here, but as you said, I definitely found it not as rewarding because you would go into certain areas and there really just wouldn't be much to get for your troubles of like searching around so much. It was like little small knickknack things that weren't really like useful or whatnot.
Yeah.
And and I played the game for like a cool minute, but I never actually finished the story. This does, however, make me want to finish the story. Because this is EA, so this will be on Game Pass. So I'll be able to finish that story and then be able to play this one for essentially free for a few, and then and I can stop once the trial's over and then wait until it's free if I didn't want to buy it. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's just like, okay, this is coming out. Well, damn, I better finish Fallen Order before this one comes out so that I can keep up with the story and whatnot. But
yeah, it's
I mean,
super
it's always
cool.
good to see
It's
good
super
Star Wars
cool.
games.
Like it's big news. I just want to see improvements because then I could really get excited about it. Like I
Yeah.
want to get excited about it, but I'm not quite there yet just because of how I feel about Fallen Order.
Dude, the Knights of the Old Republic remaster is going to be a great game when it comes
That's
out.
a remake, right?
Yeah,
Like it's a
remake.
full-on remake.
Is it a remaster or a remake?
I think it's a full-on remake,
Remake. Okay, yeah.
which is
So I mean,
huge.
I hope it'll
I'll
be all
play it
new
all
story.
over again.
Yeah, for sure. There's a certain few that I'll give that okay to like play it over again because like I said, like I don't really want to pay like full price for another game that I've already beaten or whatnot. But if it's totally done different, you know what I mean? They've changed the mechanics and stuff like that around like that. I just want to see my face go to like that dark gray with all of those freaking tears in my
Scars and stuff,
skin and
yeah.
stuff like that because I went
Mhm.
bad. You know what I mean? I want to see that in this generation's graphics. That's gonna be fucking ill.
Heck yeah.
I think the only thing that's gonna be sad is I don't know if they have, but I'm assuming that they'll have it available for PS4 and for Xbox One, so it won't be as like graphically taxing as it should be. But hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man. So let us know down in the comments below if you guys plan on
I don't know who
playing
this
this
guy is.
this this Jedi Survivor. If you guys are excited for it, do you guys even care about it? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of you that's got to be excited for this, right?
Absolutely.
But let us know
You
down
gotta
below.
be. Yeah.
And for the last topic of the day, Sony has announced that they are doing quite a few shows and they are sprinkling these shits everywhere. So, like a while back, maybe like a month or two ago, we had heard talks and gotten confirmations of HBO getting The Last of Us. So Sony had their hands in that and whatnot. And that one's getting made right now. I'm not sure exactly when that will release. But, now we're hearing that, okay, you've got God of War that's going to Amazon. You have Gran Turismo. I don't even know where Gran Turismo is going to. And then you have Horizon being on Netflix, which is like really interesting. It's just interesting that they chose like Horizon and God of War. Because when I think of like God of War and some of these other games, that get made into shows or movies or whatever, like Halo. I'm not really a big fan of the Halo show. I think it's okay, but I'm not really like that enthralled by it. But I enjoyed the game, and I think that a lot of that gloriousness comes from you actually playing Master Chief or you playing Kratos or whatever, you know what I mean? And doing that, and doing all of those actions, beating all those foes and stuff like that. Like for me to like fully enjoy this God of War, I would love to see like backstory, everything that happened from like God of War 3 or whatever to, God of War the remake or whatever, or the reboot. You know what I'm saying? Like give me all of that filler. Show me like what happened, that he got there and stuff like that, or give me some shit that I've never seen before. That's prequel to all the stuff we've just encountered recently. What?
Freaking arachnid, dude. Freaking arachnid.
What? I don't know where they will find a little girl in real life. In real life, was a massive, big head enough for Horizon? Girl had a pumpkin head. Yeah, her shit was big, but but I think you could just change the graphics on that shit. You could probably just like CG that shit and make it bigger. Or
Dude,
maybe it should just be like mass swole and
there's
yolk.
no way they're gonna go a little girl version, right? You're just gonna start big and just have like a
Yeah,
different storyline with her being
she's gonna
big.
be 23, 24 running out there.
Yeah, they're not gonna do
Wasn't she like 20, 22 or something like that in the game in the first one?
something like
Wasn't
that. She's an
she wasn't
adult.
she
She's
a
an
youngin?
adult. Yeah, she's an
Yeah,
adult.
yeah. So I mean, it's like it's possible. But I mean I still you would have to tell me, Ray, if you think that there's enough story value there to watch a Horizon show, or is it just you gonna watch it to see like the robotic dinosaurs brought to life,
Dude,
which
I
is
don't
just
think there
CG.
is. I don't think there is. See, I think God of War has a much better time at being adapted to TV than Horizon, because God of War is just Greek mythology. There's
Lore,
tons,
yeah,
tons, and tons of source material for like
Mhm.
that. You could do lots of cool things. And not
That's
just
true.
that, it's got like an anime feel. Like you're talking about gods. Like you could do some really crazy stuff with that, like high awesome powers. Like
Mhm.
I don't think it's very exciting watching someone bow and arrow a robot dinosaur. I mean, there's some fun there, but is it as cool as God of War? Like, no
It's
way,
not
you
gonna.
know?
I feel like it won't give you the same intense excitement.
Yeah, it's
You know what
much
I mean?
different me holding the controller and doing that on my own than like
Yeah.
watching someone on screen do that.
Like I
Like, I don't,
know as I play the game, I know I'm supposed to whip this dinosaur's ass and survive because that's the only way. You got to live to play it. But like, that she's gonna defeat everything that she comes across. So the suspense
yeah,
is gone. Like this
yeah,
is the
there
main
isn't.
character. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot there, even emotion wise, to build off. Like with The Last of Us, you have quite a bit of emotion. It's post apocalyptic. You're trying to survive.
Yeah.
Like you can do a lot with that.
And I feel like
I don't
with The
know,
Last
man.
of Us, they can Game of Thrones that shit. Anybody can
Yeah,
get that.
you could do
They
really
could
crazy
kill
stuff
off
with that.
Ellie and Joel in
Yeah,
there if
you
they
could do,
wanted
yeah,
to.
exactly. You can go really hardcore
Yeah.
with that because of the setting. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
really know how you really do that with Horizon. And like you said, Horizon has a very shallow story. Like, to be honest, like I don't really know what story they're gonna tell us. Is she chasing Hades for the 5th time? Like I'm just saying, like, what is she
Yeah.
doing? Like, what is
Yeah.
she gonna be doing here?
Is she
Curing the
just
blight?
exploring?
I
Is she
mean,
just exploring the world and finding more 20th century shit? In the rubble or what?
yeah, I'm
Like
not. I'm not. I feel like I feel like Netflix got the short straw here, man. They're like
yeah.
they
Like,
got
oh fuck,
Horizon and
Amazon got God of War. Damn it, I wanted
Amazon
that one.
got God of War.
All right, we'll
Like
take
that
Horizon.
sucks,
Yeah.
dude. Now Gran Turismo is in a worse place than even Horizon as far as the story goes. But what if you did something like
Actually, I don't know, dude. Gran Turismo might be in the best place of all because if you think about it, Gran Turismo has no story whatsoever. There
none, no
is no main
characters either,
campaign for that.
no
So you can just do
characters?
whatever you want. You can get fucking you could do like some Fast and Furious type shit. You could do like what was the Ford versus Ferrari type shit?
Yeah, but
You know what
dude,
I'm saying? Like,
no, but dude, here's what I'm thinking, bro. Like, on Netflix and like Amazon, they have like these car shows. Like, there's one where they repurpose or like, like they change the way it looks. Like they what is that called? They where they like bring to life an old car and like they bring it back to life and it's like
okay, yeah.
artwork. Like,
Right.
and they have like it's like a reality show. What
Mhm.
if you made like Gran Turismo a reality show where like you're
Mm.
going and it's like a different car,
Oh, just fast cars and then
just
actually
fast
putting those
cars,
in
dude,
races
and
and
like
stuff.
you're
Yeah.
learning about them. You get to see them, you get to see how they're built, and you're kind of like just having fun watching all the dopeness that these
Yeah,
cars
maybe
are.
you
And
just
you could do like
follow
a reality show with this one.
maybe you just follow like one Gran Turismo racer, in his like, journey or whatever to win like the cup or something like that.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm
that'd
saying?
be cool too. Yeah, but like a
And you just
reality.
follow them.
Put it in
Yeah.
reality, right? Yeah, like make
Yeah,
it
whatever
reality.
struggles he's getting, trying to get the numbers, trying to get the car
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
trying to get the
yeah. There you
deals,
go.
like all of that shit. Yeah,
Yeah, follow a racer.
maybe a
Yeah.
up and comer, trying to get into the the Gran Turismo event or something like that or whatever. I don't know. But I feel like Gran Turismo probably has like the widest door to go through. Like
Choices, yeah,
yeah,
lots of choices.
they got
Yeah,
options out there, man.
yeah.
They could do
Horizon,
anything
you're
with the content.
screwed.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to watch that. I'm sorry. Like, I really don't. I feel really
yeah,
bad for Netflix, but I'll watch God of War because
yeah.
that's
And
dope.
I think
Um,
Arachnid. I would probably agree that a Killzone series would probably work. I mean, because I don't know much about Killzone, but I don't think that there's like a hardcore story there. I know there's like a basis or whatever to go off of, but I feel like you could just that's like army shit. You know what I mean? Like you just
yeah,
have
Halo.
enemies and you're just trying to survive type shit. You know,
Yeah, there's
Halo
lots of.
Halo tried a different story, but I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, how could it be any different than Halo? How could
Yeah,
it be any worse than that? It's really just futuristic warfare. It's just
yeah.
future warfare, right? Like
I'll have to
that
check
could
out
be pretty
Killzone's
cool, you know. So,
storyline. I never even did play that again.
and what about this too? The Twisted Metal is actually it's in actual
We
production
did
now.
hear about the Twisted Metal show a
Twisted
while
Metal
back,
series is actually
which
for
that
real.
one, which that one should be like some type of Tales of the Crypt type shit to me.
Tales of the Crypt. Each hero, yeah, like each
Yes,
hero.
each
Yeah, that's
hero,
cool.
because that
Actually,
was
that's a cool
always the
idea.
sickest thing.
That
Was
was
finishing the
learning.
hero's line to
Yes,
see
and
what
learning
happens
their
when he gets his wish granted or whatever.
totally, dude.
You know
That
what I
was one
mean?
of the
So
coolest things.
yeah, that was the dopest thing. So if you just like each episode was like following one of the heroes or one of the drivers in Twisted Metal, you know what I mean? That would be dope. You know what I mean? Like
That was the funnest
they
part. Like you
went
would,
boom.
yeah, you'd
Yeah.
want to play it
Seeing
again to
their
pick another
end
hero
stories.
just to see, yeah, just to
Right.
see
That
what
was
their story
always the
was.
reason why
Yeah,
you played so many
that
times,
was
is because you
fun,
wanted to
dude.
see the endings for each one. And you're like, oh damn, he got fucked. Like he just had terrible luck.
Oh my
Or whatever,
gosh!
you know,
Like,
it
whoa, that's
always
his
it
fate.
always ended in the worst way. That's why
Yeah,
I say, like, Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Hood, that type of shit, that's like where I would want to see, this one go, Twisted Metal, go. But
totally. I agree with
they
that. Actually, I agree
they
100
got they
percent with
got a
that.
lot of things. I mean, there's like a lot of lore and stuff like that for like League of Legends and all that stuff. So I mean, those would probably be pretty cool, like anime
Well,
and
they already
or
got League of Legends TV show. That's already a
okay.
TV show that exists.
Okay, yeah, I
It's
have
the
not watched
Arcane.
it.
It's the Arcane.
The Castlevania one's pretty dope.
Like, have you ever seen that Arcane series on Netflix? It says Arcane or whatever.
No, I
That's
haven't.
actually
I've never
League
heard
of
of
Legends.
it.
It doesn't
Oh, okay.
say like maybe you'll see it, whatever. It's
Gotcha.
pretty
Yeah,
good. It's
I'll
pretty
probably
good,
see it
but
now that you mentioned it, and it
it's
should be
animated.
be
They're
listening.
both
So
they're both animated. Would you want one of these to be animated? Would that help it at all, animating it, or would you want
mm,
live action?
I think that Horizon would probably be better if it was just animated.
I think Netflix is gonna animate it, dude. Right?
I think
That's too expensive.
if you treated it like an Avatar type of situation or whatever, I think it'd probably be pretty cool.
That's too
But
expensive to build all that CGI robots, right? All those dinosaurs and
I
animals. Like
mean,
that's probably gonna be
you could
much
just
easier
do
to
a
animate.
shit job like Disney Plus is doing with some of their CG. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Stuff to put
I
together,
know.
but
Some of these shows, man, are just like jank, but they do it anyways.
yeah, man, dude,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
having the hardest time trying to finish Moon Knight with my wife because she is not fucking with it whatsoever. She's just
Yeah,
like, the CG just looks atrocious. And then did you see that freaking She-Hulk trailer that just came out?
dude.
Dude, man, she looked bad. It's
That's
like
gonna.
when you see her,
I know.
when
It's
you
like
see her
paint
in
on her
Hulk
skin.
form, yeah, when you see her in
It's
Hulk
so
form,
dumb.
and then you see Bruce Banner in Hulk form, and you see how good his skin looks, and then you look at her shit, her glowing Slimer looking shit, it's just like, dude, man,
I know. It's
why
terrible.
why didn't you just take the
That's gonna
time to fix
flop. That
that?
show's gonna flop, dude, badly. So
I don't
I
know.
just think Horizon's better on animated, right?
Yeah, it'll probably work out better animated. I
It's
mean, God
clearly
of
gonna
War
be
would be
better
pretty cool
animated.
animated too.
You
They could
could do
probably
some
do a
cool
really
stuff.
gory
Yeah,
and
yeah,
God of
yeah.
War, with all the effects and things, but I think it would still really work well as like a drama or something like that with some action in it. You know what I mean? Like a good solid, you get to see the heart of Kratos or
I
whatever.
agree, man. I think
So
God of
that
War
would
could
be
be really
fun.
cool live
And
action.
I think Gran Turismo could be dope depending on, if they come up with a good idea for it because they have options. They're not bottlenecked into one storyline, one type of storyline.
Yeah, they're gonna have the biggest swing. It's gonna be either dope or really bad. Right? Like they can really mess Gran Turismo up, dude.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like, but then they can do some really neat different things with it.
yeah.
You know,
Cop
like
foul balls.
I don't think anyone thought about like an IRL where like it's a reality show like following a racer or just showing different cars every week and just like it's just really neat. Like they could do something cool with that, but we'll see.
For sure, man. So yeah, let us sound off in the comments down below. Let us know, man. Do you think that any of these shows will be decent, or which one are you actually looking forward to? Which one would you rather not have? Can you think of any other games that would, be like a great show? I mean, I think Days Gone would probably be a good one, even though they've kind of, we've kind of ran zombies into the ground, but I mean, they're always like a doable, you know what I'm saying? So I think that would be a solid show, just,
for sure.
just, somebody else in that world. Maybe you don't go with the same character, but you go with that world and whatnot. And you come across some of the people that you came across in the game. That would be a little bit more exciting. But yeah, there's options out there. So let us know down below. And yeah, that is it for the topics that we have for you guys this week. We appreciate everybody for dropping in, sticking with us. And yeah, man, hopefully we look forward to talking about that state of play. Hopefully we get some good shit, man.
Yeah, dude.
Ratchet and Clank as a cartoon would be really good because I think they've definitely done like some like compilations of like all the scenes, like if you go on YouTube, you can see like just like
just the whole thing in one.
Just like all of the cutscenes like all together, and it's like a fucking movie, dude. So
I think you could have some really cool humor, like you go like the Pixar route or whatever. Like you can do a lot of fun stuff with Ratchet and Clank.
Definitely Pixar.
Dude, when are they gonna give us a Demon Souls TV show, man?
I think that would be a little too tough. Dude.
It's too hard, huh?
Creepy as hell, man.
Yeah,
like putting all those things in real life and stuff.
Dude,
they would have to do it like they would have to do it like really good.
You can go extra dark on that, right?
But just imagine like actually giving us all that lore that everybody had to fish and hunt for, like just giving it
castle to explore, dude.
Video form.
Yeah,
dude, that would be
that's
sick.
Cool.
Like somebody's journey or whatever. That would be a pretty dope one. Some type of medieval shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's cool.
Like, go on that one,
man. I know, right?
But yeah, man. So until next week, we will catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See you.
I love you, me.